emotion, of song, and it's us at our most dynamic. It's us, the fire element is the element of that understands there is a deep shared humanity. Fire believes deep down we are all one. It melts all differences, it melts all boundaries. It's the sense of union. It's the element of transcendence, of ascendancy, of inspiration. And because of this, it's one of the most attractive elements. However, because of this upward ascendant quality and transcendent spiritual quality, because of course fire is the fire of spirit, where water is soul, fire is spirit. Because of this, when it burns too hot, it has a tendency to melt boundaries and make us lose our groundedness. We lose our sense of self, we lose our sense of identity. And this can show up in certain mental health conditions, ranging from anxiety right through to psychosis. Mental health conditions where there's been a loss of self, a loss of identity, and a merging with others in some form or other. One way that this can show up is what's called a disturbance of the Shen. Now, one of the spiritual components of the fire is called the Shen. One way of understanding that is its consciousness. It's the very light of awareness itself. When this becomes disturbed through shock and trauma, it's visible in the eyes as a kind of shakiness or a fragmentedness. This is a sign that the Shen is no longer well rooted and there's a loss of self and identity. When the fire burns too low, of course, what you see is a rather grey existence where the fire has burned low, there's no passion, there's no joy, there's no excitement, and the spark has gone out. Because fire governs the expression of emotion, whenever you approach any strong emotion, be it fear or sadness or anger, what you often experience on the approach to that powerful emotion is a sense of anticipation. And this can be experienced in what many people refer to as anxiety. It might be butterflies, tension in the belly, shortness of breath. One way of understanding anxiety is that it's resisted excitement. One way of understanding life is every new moment is a novelty, and it could be approached as excitement and with excitement. However, when we don't feel supported enough in our relational field, what we tend to do is contract our breath, and what happens instead is a stuck, anxious state. And this happens too when you're approaching any strong emotional expression. What the fire wants us to do is to share the emotion that's coming up. It's there for a reason. It's a valid part of who we are. Not to explain it, not to talk about it, to express it, to give our grief its tears, to give our anger its shout, and so on. When that is resisted, what you're left with is this unfinished emotion and an anxiety that's caught in the body. Typically in this kind of solar plexus tension, not in the stomach, and this tightness in the chest. What fire is wanting us to do is bring us deeper into relationship, to share more of ourselves. Fire is greedy, it wants more for us, and it wants to enter us into the family and to the community of our shared humanity.